Motion. Here comes the quarterback, Burrow. Looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown!
Fakes, throwing to the end zone. Wide open is Higgins for the Cincinnati touchdown.
There's the sneak. Burrow gets low, driving towards the goal line. He's inside the one, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's down in the corner on the right side of the screen right underneath this video, or there's a link in the description. I'm here to talk about Jackson Carman, though. And Jackson Carman, in my opinion, it's been something that I feel like has been blown out of proportion in terms of him not starting right away at the guard position, right? He's come in with the twos for the most part, and yesterday he finally came in with the ones. I'm just going to be honest here. I think it's a lot of overreaction because it's still very early in training camp. And like Frank Pollock has said, those guys have to earn those positions. So I don't think that it's too crazy that we're seeing Quentin Spain and Xavier Su'a-Filo start out at the right guard position. Now, Carman will definitely be in the mix. He also has to learn the right guard position. And, not only that, you couple that also with learning a brand new offense. He came from Clemson. They didn't run the same exact offense that the Bengals are running now. So there's going to be a learning curve. I mean, we had Fred Johnson on the Orange is the New Black podcast, and he talked about the transition from tackle to guard, how different the two positions are, where I think that that's what Carman is going to be up against. I think if this is week 3, week 4, possibly, of training camp, then you're more so worried about it. But I think that this is just typical. I think a lot of people are freaking out for no reason. And I think that he'll be just fine. Now, if it doesn't work out, then we'll have to see. But I think right now it's way too early to say that Jackson Carman isn't working out. I think a lot of people didn't like the pick, and a lot of people are just trying to jump on it as soon as they can before even giving the kid a chance to get out there and show that he has what it takes. I believe that he has what it takes. You guys already know. I spoke with Willie Anderson about him and the kid, and I'm fully confident that he can make the transition with no problem at all. I think, honestly, if you've actually been paying attention, a lot of the guys, even the starters, Quentin Spain and Xavier Su'a-Filo, have been playing the right and left guard position as well. So they haven't been cemented at one particular spot. I think the only guys that have been cemented have been Riley Reif, as well as Jonah Williams. All the other guys have moved around, and I think you could probably say Trey Hopkins as well. Those are the guys that are cemented. The guards have been interchangeable. Way too early to say that Jackson Carman already isn't catching on. I mean, the pads aren't even on yet. Let's just slow down with that. So I think that once the pads come on, I think when the smoke clears, after this is said and done, I think that Jackson Carman will be a guy that will be a viable part of this offensive line. Right. And I'm not mad at the Bengals and Frank Pollock for doing it this way because Frank Pollock is going to get the best out of him. So I trust Frank. I trust what this offensive line will do in the future. And I think that we just need to relax. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, relax. I think that the Bengals will be just fine. I think Jackson Carman will be just fine. I think that this is typical when it comes to camp. I think the fact that we've had a year with COVID, maybe some people forget how fast these things turn around and how slow they start out. If you were to go back to training camp last year, I guarantee you, maybe 2 years ago now that we've had a season with the virus, you would probably see a lot of guys that started out on that first line that didn't end up being the starters. So take that with a grain of salt. It was reported yesterday that he's already mixing in with the ones. I expect him to mix in with the ones even more in the future. And I think that will be okay. A lot of people are saying, this is the end for him. It's a bit of an over-exaggeration. Training camp literally just started. And even when we talk about the defense, which I'll do that in another video, I'm actually getting ready to go on vacation. But I just wanted to get this out before then. But things like that happen. The defense is always normally ahead of the offense. So I've seen some people kind of panicking about that. Just give it time. We'll have to just see how things go. By the time we get to the preseason game, we'll actually get some legit competition that we can see with them playing another team. And don't forget, there were times where the offensive line or the defense was looking super good. And once they went up against real teams, they ended up with 17 sacks. And it just really exposed that the offensive line wasn't that good. So we'll see where things go. I would just say monitor it and keep hope. I think at this point it's just too early to be jumping out the window to say that Jackson Carman is not the guy. I think that we need to give him a fair shot. I mean, the guy was just drafted. Give him a chance to transition, learn the offense, and there's guys out there making rookie mistakes, best believe it. So let's give him that time. I think that he will be fine, and I think that the pick will pay off. That's one thing that I will say. I have a couple of takes that I'm going to make this season. That is one of them. I think Jackson Carman is going to be just fine. I don't think that he's going to be this elite Quentin Nelson Mauler or anything like that, but I think he'll be a guard that is better than what the Bengals had last season, which honestly is not much, much more than probably below average, but I think that he'll be average to slightly above average at the position. I think that this will be a non-factor going forward, and we'll all look back and be like, man, we were really, wilding out about Jackson Carman. And this isn't a shot at anyone in particular. I just feel like it's just not fair to I've just seen a lot of harsh criticism of Jackson Carman, and I just want to at least give the kid a chance to have a fair shot. I mean, games haven't been played, snaps haven't been done. This is a thing where some people don't understand how hard it is to just understand an offense, right? As a former player myself, when you're installing a defense or offense in a high school player, don't think that I've played in the league, because I have not. But even at a high school level, bro, like that stuff is hard to kind of get in. I could only imagine what it's like for a college system, and then an NFL pro system is completely different. So give these guys a chance. Let them get the learning opportunity that they have training camp for. This is why they have training camp. And let him become accustomed to the offense. I think he'll be fine. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I would say that Jackson Carman is going to be just fine. And as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day all day, every day, especially on Sunday.